Well, as you can see by the looks of this pasta, not every recipe is a win. So instead of telling you how I'm going to make this pasta, I'm going to be sharing the story on how I met my husband. My first ever job was the gym, and I started working in 2019 right after high school. When COVID hit, everything was pretty much on lockdown, so that included the gym. And once everything was back up and running, I went back to work at the gym, and he so happened to be one of the new members. At the time, I was not a Christian, not living for God, living for myself and for the world, and so my initial thoughts of him were not good ones. I slowly ended up starting to talk to him, and I think our first conversation was about hallucinogenic drugs, if you know what I mean. At the time, I was super into that type of stuff, and I was into raves, so I was all about it, and I loved it, and I encouraged pretty much anyone to try it if they felt comfortable enough to, which is so bad. Eventually I got his number, and after the first time of hanging out, we would pretty much hang out every single day. The first time we ever hung out was a day full of things that I love to do. So he took me to Boiling Crab, we went to K1 Speed, and then we went to Earth Cafe and to the beach. He literally picked me up at 12 p.m. and didn't drop me off until 1 a.m. At the time, I would tell my homegirls, I don't understand why I'm so attracted and drawn to this guy, but I really enjoy his company. Little did I know it was God bringing us together. Both of us didn't want anything serious, so we told each other that we were just going to be friends, even though we all knew we weren't just friends. At the time, I was really into New Age and into crystals and astrology. He was a professing Christian, but he was also lukewarm. When I would share with him stuff about crystals and astrology and numerology, he would ask certain questions about my beliefs and what certain crystals meant or what certain quote-unquote angel numbers meant. It really started to make me think like none of this stuff makes any sense. Not only was New Age constantly changing, but it wasn't healing me. I still had anxiety, I still had depression, I still had suicidal thoughts, I still was not content and struggling. And I still wasn't getting answers to certain questions that I had. It made me think like there's no way that New Age is the way, and there's no way that New Age is the truth. All my life I really was seeking the truth and didn't really know what the truth was until I found Jesus. My husband is the one that introduced me to God and started to tell me about God more. Once I decided to look for myself and search the scriptures, I realized that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. I met my husband in April 2021. I got baptized in the name of Jesus Christ for the remission of my sins in August 2021, and I got married in November 2021. So I had only known my husband for a few months before marrying him, which most of my family and friends did not really agree with. But what God had put together, let no man put asunder. I knew that it was in the Lord's will for me to marry him. Ever since then, I've been a Christian and living for the Lord. The Lord has blessed us abundantly, and now we have 2 beautiful children. I have made mistakes in the past, but one thing I'll never regret is choosing to live for Christ. If you made it to the end, thank you for listening to my testimony, and God willing, I could share more in the future.